Yo, what is going on, you grimy grimers? Today we're playing some games with ability Blacephalon. AB Blounds is what I've been calling it. No Pidgey, no Mincino, but we have added a Zacian V and a Oricorio-GX for our abilities besides just Jirachi's ability. So it's not Greens Blounds because we got abilities, but it's not Elms and Pidgeys or Elms and Essence and Mincino. It is Baby Blounds. It is Jirachi. We don't have the stage 1 draw support through the abilities. We do have a Intrepid Sword from the Zacian V, and then we have the Dance of Tribute from the Oricorio-GX. This is a build that I was messing around with the other day. It felt pretty good with to have the comeback from the abilities as an option. I don't know, it felt pretty good. I thought I would share it with you guys. So we're playing some AB Blounds today. Not much else to say on the list. Everything else is pretty much straightforward, standard. I don't play any energy retrieval, which is definitely a card I'd want to fit in here. I think I just haven't found space for it yet. I'll figure that out eventually, maybe adding it. Maybe it's not necessary. One thing I am playing is the Beast Bringer. Thought I would mess around with the Beast Bringer, give it a shot. It does make it make some of our prize trades a little bit more favorable for us, depending on the scenario that our opponent is trying to build on board to make it harder for us to win the game as soon as possible. Instead of letting us knock out like back-to-back tag teams, they're going like tag team into a 2-prize attacker like ADP Zacian. They're gonna go GX attack with ADP into attack with the Zacian. So that's 3 prizes into 2 prizes. So we don't quite win the game there yet, and they could win the game theoretically before we do because of that. So I've added the Beast Bringer to kind of accelerate the pace of games and let us win games a little bit faster. One of Adventure Bag in here for that alongside that as well, and then the rest of the draw support is about what you'd expect. The 4 Welder, 4 Pokégear, 4 Acro Bike. Keep 1 Heat Factory as our only stadium because we do have Quick Ball now, and we do want to find Zacian turn 1, so we don't play the Ultra Space anymore. We just play Quick Balls. We also want to find Oricorio, and finding Jirachi sometimes is good, and also finding Victini is good. So Quick Balls is kind of a little bit better, a little bit more versatile than the Ultra Space. So we got 4 Quick Balls instead, and that's it. That's the list. Let's go ahead. Let's play some games. All right, getting into our first one, we're up against Lightning Fire Metal Dragon. No idea what potentially our opponent's playing. We do want to opt to go first if we get the chance. It is always kind of weird not to have our opponent immediately snap to go first. They are going to choose to go first though, so our opponent is going first. Yeah, we still want to opt to go first on our side because we do can just use Zacian on our first turn and just draw 3 cards if we just get a Quick Ball, which is a good chance we see a Quick Ball either in our opening hand or Stellar Wish for 1 or something like that. So we do usually opt to go first. It looks like it is Ability Zard. I have not seen Ability Zard in a long time. Ability Zard has definitely fallen off quite a bit with the kind of the supporter change. Not being able to get 6 energy in play on turn 2 has definitely hindered the deck quite a bit. I mean, it looks like an Ability Zard. They have Vulpix, they have Jirachi, they're playing Welder. Yeah, it looks like an Ability Zard to me. Like I said, deck has definitely fallen pretty far down the list of viable decks. Gonna get a Escape Board and the Beast Bringer to our hand, and then I think we're gonna keep Factory. I don't really want to give up anything in the hand here. To the Flint, give up the Jirachi and the Pokégear, I guess. Yeah, give up these 2. Could maybe have given up the Blacephalon-GX instead, but probably not. Currently, we are short a Quick Ball. Oof, still short a Quick Ball, so we might have to bench our Blacephalon-GX. Not the worst thing to ever happen in a game of Pokemon. There's a Quick Ball, so we could grab the Quick Ball. I think I am going to grab the Quick Ball. I was like debating not for a second there, but should be all good to grab it. Quick Ball, away of Fire, and I think I am just going to go for the Zacian. They could knock it out on the next turn, but I really need to just try and see some more cards here. I'm also going to attach to the Zacian here, because if they do knock out our active, we do need to be able to retreat the Zacian potentially into a baby Blacephalon. So Intrepid Sword, got a whole bunch of squad to work with now. So yeah, if they knock out our Zacian, it's okay. I'm not really that gonna be that beat up about it. It's all right if they knock out our Zacian here. We're just hoping we don't get reset stamp, which we probably won't. Ability Zard has never really played reset stamp. Sometimes as a 1-of, you will see the reset stamp in the Ability Zard, but usually it is a 0-of. So yeah, there's the Welder from our opponent. They get out the Ninetales. They can chase our Zacian down, which is fine with me. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Heat Factory stays in play, that's great. If it gets replaced with a Hearth, that's also great. We already found our Blacephalon for the turn, so all we really need is Fire Energy. So if they replace it with a Hearth, I'm also fine with that, because that could be something that could happen. But if it stays as a Heat Factory, then I have a Heat Factory to work with. I can't really complain either way, right? So it's looking good. It's looking really good here for us. We're going to be able to draw 3 prizes instead of the 2 prizes off this Heat Trend because of the Beast Bringer. There's the switch, and it looks like, yeah, Steam and Stomp knock out the Jirachi. All right, let's get going here. See what we can pull together. Zacian comes up, held the escape board for this exact reason. Start with the heat factory usage here. 1, 2, 3. All right. Put down the baby Blacephalon. Gonna welder to the baby Blacephalon. 1, 2, 3. More cards. So many cards to work with. Holy moly. All right. I think I want to go with the Flint here, and I'm gonna get rid of quick ball, and I don't want to get rid of the energy. Actually, we could get rid of the Blacephalon-GX at this point. I don't think we need Blacephalon-GX anymore to close this one out. And I think I'm gonna get rid of the quick ball as well. Get rid of those two. Then the deck out of the fire energies, because I don't actually want to use any crystals if I don't have to. This is gonna go here. Beast Bringer goes here. We bench this. We bench this. We Pal Pad for the welder back into the deck, and then we go attach to the Blacephalon, retreat to the Blacephalon, and take the knockout with the Fireball Circus, and we draw 3 prize cards, which is pretty great. Yeah, why not get an extra prize card utilizing the Beast Bringer? That's why we have it in the deck. And that's going to just be the concession from our opponent. Couldn't quite handle that that turn 2 from us on the concede. That's the first easy dub for us. Going first here in this one. We got not a whole ton to work with here. We'll see. We have the Stellar Wishes, though. Could get that quick ball to utilize the Zacian. That's going to definitely be our goal here. Try and get the Zacian out so we can actually see some reasonable cards. Heat Factory, we're still going. There is the Zacian. We know he's not prized. 2, 3. No, ooh, hold up, we're not done yet. Acro Bike. I'm actually going for the Acro Bike here because we do have the Pal Pad in hand. All right, we're not going to see the Zacian here, but the hand's not bad. I'm not going to Pal Pad yet. I'll wait and see if we top deck. I think I will attach to our... yeah, I'll attach to the active Jirachi and then pass over to our opponent, because we might want to hard retreat this Jirachi if it does wake up. Still sleeping right now, but he could definitely wake up going into our turn through the sleep flip. There's a quick ball from our opponent. Yeah, we'll see. We don't have any idea what our opponent's playing here. Okay, it is a Pika-Rom deck, most likely. Maybe Zap Beasts. There's a Zapdos. We know that. We see the Zapdos. There's a Lily's Pokédoll. So now I'm super curious as to actually what the heck our opponent's playing. And the research in an ordinary rod. Oh, it could be more Pico dolls. That's what we could be playing up against here. It looks like that is possibly what our opponent is playing. Oh, did not need to attach that lightning energy though. They do have the Thunder Mount. I guess maybe if they want to retreat it next turn is what they're thinking. So they went with it like in that way, I guess. Not necessary though. There's Victini. Not what we're looking for. Stellar Wish. There's a quick ball. All right, that is a start. I'm gonna go ahead and quick ball away the Beast Bringer. Grab myself the baby Blacephalon. Going to Pal Pad. Yeah, Pal Pad in the welder. Go ahead and Pokégear into the. Oof, no welder hits. Oh no. Feeling confident there too. All right. Bench Blacephalon. Attach to Blacephalon, and I think pass. Yeah, it's gonna have to be the pass. We whipped the welder. Maybe I got a little greedy on the Acro Bike earlier when I was digging that hard for the quick ball for the Zacian on the turn 1. Maybe I should have just like gone with the welder grab there. Just take the welder for the turn, and then we'd have that set up for next turn. There's a switch lightning, so our opponent is knocking out our Jirachi here. We are in all kinds of trouble at this point. We need a good top deck. We have a very good top deck here. There's the switch, send up the Mew. They got a lightning. The lightning's not going to do a whole ton for them. They don't have anything to attach to here. They're putting the recycle yet. It's definitely more Pico dolls. Definitely what we're up against here is the more Pico dolls. Our second Jirachi going down. That kind of is unfortunate. All right, Blacephalon goes to the active. Draw for turn is a fire. I'm going to bench a Victini. I am going to attach active, and then I'm going to Blazer. Maybe we at least hit a fire here. Okay, 60 damage. Okay, that's a start, right? We can do attach and then Fireball Circus for 1 next turn to get the knockout. That'll give us a prize card to work with, and we can choose to not take the fire energy, and that means we're getting one of these 5 prize cards, which hopefully has something a little bit better than a fire energy to work with. Yep, because it's just going to be the Thunderous Assault for 10 from our opponent. Okay, we're definitely not out of this one yet. Pokégear. Let's go ahead and hit that up. Let's get that welder. All right, we'll weld it for the 1 to the active. 1, 2, 3. All right, adventure bag. Nothing left in the deck. Okay, good to know. I am going to Fire Crystal here because I do want to get that attachment in on the Victini on the bench. And then, yeah, We will hit him with that Fireball Circus just for the discard of 1. Take the knockout on the Zapdos. Hopefully they aren't able to set up a Morpeko in 1 turn here on their next turn. They give us a little bit of time to kind of play around, but they do have Cocoa Prism, the Stadium is stuck in play, and they have the Recycle Energy in their hand, so they could very easily, or definitely very reasonably, they could just hit us with Morpeko. They could definitely set it up in 1 turn. It can be set up in 1 turn. They could pull it off and knock out our Blacephalon. That would be super unfortunate. We're just kind of hoping they don't. Marnie is fine with me. Our hand is nothing to write home about, so if they want to go ahead and Marnie our hand away, that's fine. Second Jirachi coming down, so they'll have to get into the Pokédoll as well to be able to make room on their bench for the Cocoa Prism and the Morpeko. Once again, I'm still playing like my opponent's playing Morpeko. I guess it's very possible they're not, but I think it's most likely that they are, because that's kind of all we've seen is like stuff that looks like it goes into a Morpeko deck. So there's a quick ball. I'm sure we'll figure out right here. There he is, Morpeko himself. All right, they are playing Morpeko. We've seen the Morpeko. Confirmed Morpeko. No energy attachment to the Morpeko, so still a little bit slow from our opponent. We could actually double custom knock out the Morpeko, which sounds really good to me because then they have to go out of their way to find another Morpeko. But I almost want to wait until they actually commit energy to 1 before I knock it out. So I actually think I'm going to hold off. I'm just going to go with the Acro Bike. I'm take the Fire Crystal. Fire Crystals are really important. Alright. Circus. Knockout. Could maybe get enough energy in the discard pile to make the Victini one-shot the Morpeko. Maybe not. We don't want the energy, though. We want to grab something else. Hey, it's another energy. Alright. Yeah, so they might not even be able to attack with the Morpeko this turn, but I kind of want to like let them commit, you know, Cocoa Prism, do that, and then Custom Catcher knock out the Morpeko. I guess if I had chased it last turn, they maybe wouldn't have been able to find another Morpeko. But who knows? They might not even be able to move this Jirachi this turn. We get another knockout. We can keep building up from there. If not, we can look to get... Uh-oh. Is that a big misclick from our opponent? That energy did not go onto Morpeko. Oh no. I think our opponent has made a Jurassic error here and are going to be in a really bad spot now. Here's another Marnie resetting our hand once again. Went from nothing spectacular to nothing spectacular. Maybe this Marnie is finally going to help us out enough to the point where we actually can see some decent cards. Yeah, definitely a misclick from our opponent there. Immediately throwing 1 on the Absol, which is probably the second best place to have an energy, but you need to get 1 on the Morpeko first. You got to start with Morpeko. They didn't, so they got punished. And here we are. Quick ball. We got a quick ball ourselves. We got a fire energy. I do just kind of want to find a welder off this. Get a fire onto the Victini. Welder that 1 to the Victini. Or Baby Blacephalon if we could like top deck a Baby Blound. Getting energy on a Baby Blound would probably be a little bit better. There's a custom for 3, but there's no way that they can attack this turn unless they do play Energy Switch, which I kind of doubt that they play. There's the send up of the Lily's Pokédoll. So now we got to worry about that guy. There's another Flint. Alright, so I can Flint away an energy and a Flint. I guess that seems fine. Flint and an energy. Go ahead and get rid of those. Gonna grab myself 4 energy out of the deck. Yeah. And I might actually just take this turn. I'm gonna start with this. Oh, no welder. I might just actually take this turn to use Zacian and draw some cards. Knocking out a doll doesn't really do anything. So I think I'm just actually gonna take this turn to use Zacian and draw cards. I'm gonna bench him. We have 7. Make this 8, 9. We'll have... I could attach to the active actually to make sure the energy goes to the discard pile because I'll have 8, 9. 9 is 180. So I do want an extra energy in the discard pile here if I can get into those custom catchers, which it looks like I did not. Yeah, there's no custom catchers there. We do want to... We might actually just send up Zacian for the turn because we do really want double custom to knock out the Morpeko. All goes back onto the deck. I mean, unless they leave it in something in their active that is not a doll, but I'm sure they're looking to leave a doll in their active every turn from here on out. So that's a custom catcher. That's not at all. But they could have double custom here to KO our Victini, which would be kind of annoying. Then I have no idea how I'm going to tackle this situation. Nope, there's a doll. They're going to send up the Morpeko, knock out our active, and run to the doll. Alright, so I think we send up the Zacian here, and then we just kind of use his ability again. Draw some cards. Yeah, and at this point they actually can't set up another Morpeko. They're just locked into this Morpeko. Because they have to attach the Recycle Energy every turn to be able to constantly move to the bench. So I'm going to send up the Zacian. They are down, what, 2 or 3 custom catchers? 1. They're down 1. Wait, what? 1 custom catcher. I guess they are down 1. Alright. Bench this guy. Dance of Tribute. Bench this guy. Bench this guy. Attach to this guy, split up the energy a little bit, and then we will sword once again. We got a custom catcher. We have yet to see a welder since our first welder. We only have 12 cards left in our deck, so we got to find a welder eventually, right? There's got to be a welder in here that we're going to see eventually. There's a Malwan to the bench. Okay, Jirachi comes to the active. Yeah, still very much in this game. Like I said, we can go double custom catcher, KO, more Pico, and then double custom catcher, KO the second more Pico that they will bench eventually to try and reestablish some board state here. Because they do need to attack again to try and draw their last prize card. So they will have to bench another more Pico. It's just kind of when. There's the double custom catcher. We'll see what they go after here. It's going to be my Oricorio. Oh, they have an E-power to go with it as well. They are going to get the knockout. So we basically have to play for the knockout here. Oh, wait, we only have 8 energy in our discard pile. I can get another one in the discard pile with the Flint. Yeah, I think we basically have to play for the knockout here, though. They're going to go down to 1 prize card. Or they'll go down to 2 prize cards, right? Or no, they'll go down to 1. We have to basically play to top deck custom or a welder, which is pretty reasonable to top deck, actually, because of how many we have left with how many cards we have left in deck. And it is a Jirachi. All right, so I think we have lost this one. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and see how many we actually had left. So I'm going to get rid of these 2. That would have put the 9 energy in the discard pile. Yeah, we had 3. We had 1 welder, 1 Pokégear, 3 custom catcher. So 5 out of 12 wasn't a horrible. We top deck the Pokégear. We have a good chance to see the welder. We don't guarantee it. I guess it could be in the bottom half of the deck. But yeah, I don't think we have a way out of this one anymore. I could retreat to Blacephalon-GX actually, and use burst. I can retreat to Blacephalon-GX and then. Oh my gosh, this is getting pretty crazy. All right, so I can bench him, attach. We can't retreat. I had to attach active. All right, we lost. This one's over. We're gonna move on to the next one. Okay, first game went pretty well. Second game was a little bit rough. We'll see how this one goes. I am gonna opt to go first. Like I said, I think we do want to go first. We can get down our Zacian turn 1, draw some cards, use some Stellar Wishes maybe. Kind of build up onto our hand that way. Sometimes, you know, turn 1 Heat Factory, which I seem to get a ridiculous amount with this deck for only having one of it, only being able to play one of it in the deck. We'll see what our opponent is playing here as well. Looks like I have no idea. Caitlin and Cynthia and Lily. Lily not as good with the new rule change, so I don't know if they're playing an outdated list or not, or maybe they're rocking the Lily. Maybe they're still rocking Lily. All right, Heat Factory. Baby Blacephalon looks like Malamar though. Stellar Wish, Quick Ball can get that Zacian turn 1, which I think I will go for here. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of one of these Pokégears. Just draw more cards. Just Oricorio's prize. That's unfortunate, but can't have it all. Throw down the squad. I will attach to the Baby Blacephalon, and then we will draw some cards with the Intrepid Sword. There's a Beast Bringer that could come into play as well early on here if they put down a GX. A lot of Malamar builds these days are the tag team Malamar GX Malamar build, so very possible that they are playing the tag team. So we might see, you know, Mew Mew come down here soon. This is probably getting an NK if I had to bet. This should be, yeah, there he is, NK. Let's go. But yeah, we'll see what actually fully ends up happening here from our opponent's side, and yeah, we'll go from there. There we go. Cynthia, draw some cards. There's the replacement of my Heat Factory, unfortunately. So sad to see that go. There is a Spell Tag from our opponent. Okay, so they are playing Spell Tag Malamar. Not quite as popular lately. Not as many Spell Tag Malamars going around. Mostly people are playing the Tag Team Malamar build, but some people staying tried and true to the old school Malamar build. It's still, it seems here. Still definitely very strong in its own right. It's not a bad deck by any means or anything like that. Just not quite as powerful as it used to be. We'll see what else our opponent has to go with it. Just gonna attach active. So we're definitely just gonna try and knock out our opponent's active here. Double custom, very good later on. Beast Bringer, no longer, or just not something we need really. So I'm gonna go ahead and quick ball away the Beast Bringer immediately here. I'm gonna grab a Jirachi, and then I am gonna Viridian Forest away the Jirachi here. Just thin out the deck a little bit before we welder, because we are looking for an escape board. Is like the main thing we're looking for here. And I will weld it to the Baby Blacephalon. Draw some cards. There is the adventure bag. Gonna go ahead and get ourselves the escape board, and then we're going with Acro Bike here. We're looking for basically a Fiery Flint. Don't want to give up the crystal though, I don't think. Still have the Stellar Wish to work with, hoping for a Fiery Flint. There he is. Flint, get over here, my dude. We're gonna flint away 2 energy, I think. Yeah, it has to be 2 energy here. Get ourselves 4 energy. And then we are just going to go ahead and knock out this Blacephalon. Unfortunately, it does trigger a spell tag. But not going to be able to do anything about this on this one, that on this one. Going to go ahead and get the attachment down on the Victini as well for the future. And yeah, knock this guy out. 150, knock out the Blacephalon. They do get the spell tag trigger, like I said. Kind of unfortunate. Kind of nothing we can do about it, though, as well. So just have to kind of let it happen and be okay with that. Yeah, damage is dumped on the Jirachi. They're going to try and get ahead on the prize exchange by, you know, kind of pinging Jirachis down over time with spell tags, distortion doors. Maybe they attack with the baby Mew to do clean up like a Jirachi and put some more damage in play elsewhere. They're not fully set up for a turn 2 attack here. They don't have like a Jirachi with an escape board. They don't have Malamars out yet. They're going to need a lot off this Cynthia to get the turn 2 attack. 2 Malamars. As well as the Giratina, which they did find. They have 2 energy in the discard pile, so they need an energy out of hand. I don't think they've used Viridian Forest, so if they have Switch Malamar and a card they want to discard, they will actually be able to take a knockout this turn. So we'll see if they got it. We'll see if they got it all like that or not. Here comes the Psychic Recharge, and if not, they could go, yeah, looks like they're going to go for the Hypnosis. Super annoying for us to deal with. Unless we get heads, then it's not that big of a deal. Draw for turn is a Welder. Okay. Don't really need to use anything out of hand. I don't think I could Viridian Forest away. Maybe the I think I can give it the Pokégear here. Get ourselves another energy. Just thin our deck out by that little bit much more. I don't even know what I want to say there. And then we could Acro Bike, but I could Acro Bike first, I guess, because if I hit 2 energy, then I don't have to use a Fire Crystal. So I should have probably Acro Biked first. We're gonna hit the Pokégear over the Jirachi. Jirachi not super important anymore. Gonna go ahead and Fire Crystal for 3. We will attach to the Victini. And then, yeah, get rid of this Inkay with the Fireball Circus. Another play we can look forward towards the end of the game is actually double Custom Catcher up a Malamar and then use Burst GX. We don't have a Reset Stamp to combo alongside that, which is generally like the most powerful play you can do at the end of the game in this matchup. Is then you can also go, Reset Stamp, double Custom Catcher up the Malamar, Burst GX. But if they lock their bench anyways, which is definitely something that's possible that they might do, is just kind of bench lock themselves. Like fill up their bench with a bunch of stuff, and then we can just like send up Blacephalon-GX and use Burst GX, and then we don't allow them to get down any of their big attackers that can actually one-shot a Blacephalon-GX if they do play them, something like a Tina Chomp or something like that. There's a Dark Energy, so we know they play the Guzzlord and the Ganondel, so that also does 180 damage, which would be enough to knock out the Blacephalon-GX. Just kind of avoid stuff like that. There's that Lily for 5. Hoping they don't get a spell tag. If they do get a spell tag, we definitely want to go with double Custom Catcher here. We might go with double Custom Catcher up to Jirachi anyways, actually. Removing Jirachi from play on the Malamar side is actually a big deal. That's their main consistency support throughout the game is the Jirachi GX. So we could just get rid of that. We want to use Victini as soon as possible just in case they do play Ultra Necrozma GX as well. So another thing we want to be wary of is Ultra Necrozma. So we do want to use our Victini as soon as possible before he gets picked up. There is the Guzzlord and again. They might not play the Ultra Necrozma though, because we've seen basic Dark Energy, but sometimes they got all kinds of basic energy in the deck. We know they play basic Psychic because it's a Malamar deck, obviously, but they could also have basic Metal in there as well. It's really hard to tell sometimes with these kind of decks. So we're gonna be a little bit open-minded on what our opponent could actually potentially have fully going on with their deck. There's a Psychic Recharge to the Inkay, creating that as a pivot. Give themselves that option. Punch their own Malamar. Okay. And yeah, we're going to send up Jirachi. Just going to knock this out. They could double Distortion Door KO or Jirachi next turn, but that's fine. We're going to save our Custom Catchers for the late game play of bring up a Malamar and then Burst. Definitely want to leave that open as an option at the end of the game. We could do it now, but I think now would be a little bit greedy. Maybe not. Maybe we could go. They only have a 3-card hand to work with. Something definitely to think about. I think I am just going to go with the plan to use Victini, though. I think I'm just going to go about that route. Blacephalon onto the... yeah, let's just dance a tribute. Let's just draw some cards. Don't have a ton of stuff left. We want to save this Flint for after we do use Infinity, though. Stellar Wish first here, actually. Grab another Welder. So we know we have another Welder for sure. So I am now going to Viridian Forest away Pokégear, get a Fire. I'm going to bench this guy. Check my discard real fast. We have 8, so that's more than enough. I'm going to bench this guy. I'm going to Welder to the Baby Blacephalon. I'm going to go ahead and bench another Baby Blacephalon. I am going to attach to the baby Blacephalon, I think, as well. Yeah, we're using Victini this turn, so I think that's fine. Go ahead and Pal Pad in these two welders alongside that. Let me fill up our deck here. Attach, and then yeah, take the knockout with the Infinity. Aim, pretty good turn. Got to use Infinity. We definitely want to try and use Infinity as soon as possible against Malamar for a knockout. As long as it's like a reasonable knock. We're not trying to do like 60 damage to an Inkay with it. Unless we know the Infinity can't die. Unless we know Victini can't die on the next turn, then like Infinity to knock out Inkay is just fine. But generally, yeah, an Infinity, you know, like 8 energy like we just did, knock out that Giratina is super good. We get all the energy back that we need to close out the game later on here. And it really just sets us up to be in a really good spot overall. Here comes the Distortion Door. We're really trying to avoid this Jirachi getting knocked out through spell tag damage and Distortion Door damage. If they do commit another Giratina down here, that would create the bench lock scenario that I was talking about. In which case we could maybe go with the Burst GX on the next turn, and just go Burst GX. Like bring up this Malamar with no damage, or bring up the damage Malamar. I guess that'd also be fine. Just bring up the damage Malamar, Burst GX, get a prize card. They might not be able to move their Malamar on the next turn, and then we kind of just like sets us up for a 2 prize turn where we maybe just win the game on the next turn. We'll see here. There's a Viridian Force as well. They can't currently move their Jirachi, so that's like the big thing here. Jirachi is stuck. There's a switch to move the Jirachi, so that's what I want to see. I want to see that switch get used. That means it's going to be that much more likely that the Malamar will get stuck in the active. So I think we will just go with... Well, see, now I don't want to use the Blacephalon because then I'll put the Tina back in the discard pile, which means they can once again use Distortion Door. So I think I'm going to bring up a Malamar and Burst GX here. I think I'm going to make it a little bit awkward for our opponent and go about it that way. 40 their own Giratina, that's fine with me. Gonna go ahead and send up the Jirachi, bench the Blacephalon. Well, we're gonna go through a couple other things first. We're gonna go with yeah, Flint away, Jirachi and Flint. Take some of the energy out of the deck. We're not gonna get all of it out of the deck, but that's actually fine. Bench the Blacephalon. Oh, I should have done this as well. I forgot about Dance of Tribute. Dance of Tribute. Gotta be careful about decking out, actually. Welder to the Blacephalon for 2. Stellar Wish. Get another custom catcher, because you never know when we're gonna need more customs. I'm gonna double custom up the Malamar. And then I am going to... I should have brought up the damage Malamar, actually. Oops, that's my bad there. And, yeah, Burst GX. Get ourselves a prize card. Try and make it as awkward as possible on this next turn for our opponent. Like I said, if they want to put down the other Distortion Door, I will fill up their bench. Their bench will be locked for a turn. They can knock out the Jirachi, sure, but then they don't have anything else to work with. So it'll give, yeah, just give them less options overall. And that's what we're looking for here. There's the Jirachi, getting rid of Jirachi. Also, we're hoping that they can't, yeah, there's the Giratina grab. So like I said, they can KO the Jirachi, but this actually means that they can't knock out our Blacephalon this turn. Their bench is going to be locked. There it is. They're bringing it back. Knock out our Jirachi. Like I said, this is fine, though. They can't draw 3 prize cards. Currently can't draw 3 prize cards in 2 turns. Unless they get spell tags involved. If spell tags get involved, it could get close. But I think we'd be okay. We'll see. We'll see. I guess they could theoretically pull it off. They would need a lot, though, I think, to go right for them. Overall, I think we're in a really good spot here. I think we're in a really good spot. Just kind of have to like play through the rest of this game. See what else our opponent potentially has. Mimikyu definitely not going to be a difference maker. Them copying Mind Blown with Mimikyu is not going to be a huge difference maker. Just looks like 2 Giratinas to deal with. Do they have the Escape Board, I guess, is the question here. They're going to go try and get it. That could be a difference maker for sure. So if they get the Escape Board and a spell tag, they need a spell tag to go with it. If they don't have the spell tag to go with it, I don't think they can actually do enough damage over 2 turns to actually have a shot. So even if they get the Escape Board to move the Malamar, they also need a spell tag to go with it, or I think we're just going to pretty much win the game at that point. We'll see, though. Maybe they have both. There's an Acro Bike. See what they grab here. Viridian Force to the discard pile. Definitely don't need that anymore. Another Malamar makes his way out. And then there's the concession. So yeah, it worked out. The double custom catcher Burst GX play right after they burned their second switch. Why not just go for it? We did it. They did go with the KO and the Jirachi like I said they would do, maybe. But it did lock up their bench. They got no options. They could attack with the Giratina that turn, or not even attack with the Giratina that turn because they whiffed the Escape Board. And that's a dub. And that's going to do it for this video on the ability Blounds. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, give the video a like. If you enjoyed the content, subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Have a good day. Thanks for watching, and peace.